tonight in the Texan Arena regular season finale, at least an 81-74 victory over Catawba. Just a gritty effort from pretty much start to finish from your squad tonight. But how do you break down tonight's win?
Just really proud of our guys, coaching staff, players, guys, Omar, Germ, Jay, did a great job getting the guys ready. Thought our guys prepared really, really well. Came in and were focused, attentive to detail. And, we've made a lot of progress over the last few weeks. We've talked about with this group, really the elite teams, obviously there's a level of talent you got to get to. And then the toughness piece, and there's a mental component, certainly. And we didn't have that early in the year. And then there's a physical component in this game. There's no really good finesse teams. So you got to play with we always talk about appropriate physicality and just these guys played their butts off for 40 minutes. I thought we talked about, Thursday, Catawba's most physical team in the league, and it wasn't perfect. They gave up 15 offensive rebounds and some things, but I thought they really did a great job trying to see the game plan. We fought, scratched, clawed, obviously had them 15, and we had 3 of our starters with 4 fouls, so we had to take some guys out and sit some guys. They made a run at us, which all good teams are going to do. Catawba's an excellent team. Cut it to 4, and then I thought we responded. And we responded in games like this where you got 2 really good teams hooking up. It's about, fighting for the entire 40 minutes and then being able to execute and perform under pressure in critical situations, and showed tonight that we've come a long way in those aspects.
You talk about this, it seems like you alluded to this a little bit. This felt kind of like a character building win in a lot of ways, one that can kind of affirm the teams. Is that how you take away what you want to take away from tonight for you?
Yeah, for sure, because when you win a game like this and you shoot 8 for 30 from 3, it wasn't like we came out and we were lights out from the field or the three-point line. I think we shot 39%. We shot 26% from 3. It was very similar to the Queens game, but we made more plays down the stretch on both ends of the floor. But very similar to the Queens game where we labored to score, got some good looks, didn't go down. And I thought against Queens and tonight, we didn't deflate. We kept guarding, but we were a little bit better in terms of execution down the stretch, made some big plays, particularly from the free throw line. Julius Brown stepping up with some huge ones, Scoot with some big ones. Cam Calhoun was I thought, unreal the whole game. And it was just a really good, team performance. But you're right, when you have to grind one out and you're playing a really good team and you're not shooting the ball well, can you win on your energy? Can you win on your toughness? Can you win on your effort? And that's what, historically we've been able to do in these type of games is hopefully you shoot it well and you win by a lot. But on the nights where you don't, you give yourself a chance because you're guarding your butt off and you're making things difficult and you're rebounding and you're taking care of the ball. And I thought we did a good job across the board in all those areas.
I think a microcosm probably of what you just talked about was Cornelius Taylor's performance in terms of not deflating and kind of hanging in there in the first half. 0 for 5 from the field, no points, and then he comes out in the second half and scores 17 points and kind of felt like he was a real energizer for you. So is that what you saw tonight?
Yeah, I thought, the thing we've always talked about with Scoot is he needs to compete and make the next right play. And, he's a good enough player. The shots he took, there's probably 1 or 2, wasn't great in the first half. I think guys were a little bit amped up. We talked at halftime, we probably had about 7 possessions where we took shots that, are not in character, where we would say settle, and everybody was kind of juiced up for a big game. So, but second half, I thought he was terrific. In the first half, even despite his struggles, he guarded his butt off. If he's not guarding and getting in there, we're not playing him. And he was so good defensively. And, he hasn't allowed, as he's matured as a player, he doesn't allow his offense either way to affect his defense. And that's a sign of a really good player. And then, down the stretch, he had a spurt, I think, where he had maybe 8 points in a row early in the second half to kind of, give us a little bit of separation. And then he closed well, had a layup, had a couple free throws, and just found ways to kind of get the ball in the basket. He was terrific. But again, it was team wide. Cam Henry first half was outstanding. Julius Brown closing with, his free throws, getting the line, getting the rim, making plays. I thought Boston, the guy that didn't shoot it well, that had a really good night. He gets 6 rebounds, 4 assists, still gets double digits and 10 points, but he just was really, really solid and did a great job defensively, kind of understanding what we were trying to do.
I want you to talk a little bit more about what you guys did so well defensively. Obviously, it was a struggle for them all night, except for that one little 11-0 spurt in the second half. You turn them over 19 times, 40%, 39% from the field. So what was working so well for your defense tonight?
Well, I think when you look at Catawba, they're really hard to guard. They're good in transition, so you got to get back and you got to get 5 below the ball and you got to load to the ball. And once you do that, then they have some of the best drivers in the league. I mean, they're so strong and they overpower you. And the game at Catawba, they scored 96, and they just drove it by us. We showed the guys. I mean, once you get back in trans, then you really got to jam the paint. You got to pack the paint, and you got to do a great job collectively, of keeping the ball out. And really the end there, they got a couple baskets at the rim. We gave up the rim for whatever reason in the final minute. We were kind of nursing that lead, but for the most part, we could have held them in the 60s, and our guys did a great job of again collectively guarding the basketball, really jamming the paint, making them kick, and then doing a great job closing out and making things difficult. And they made a couple jump shots, but I thought we made things hard for them, and I'm sure they missed some open ones as well that they normally make. But I thought we had a cumulative effect where we really did a pretty good job of making things difficult. And then the other thing, the third piece with them is they're a great offensive rebounding team, and we were a little hit or miss there. They're so much bigger and so much more physical than we are. We have a lot of young guys. We're playing a lot of times 3 freshmen, and they're playing mostly seniors. And but our guys fought, and we got some key ones. And Cam Calhoun, he got 10 rebounds, but it felt like more, and everyone felt like it was in a crowd, and he was the one guy down there, and he was making unbelievable plays and just closing possessions. You got to limit their second chances. So I thought did below average in that aspect, did a great job in transition defense, did a great job of keeping them and protecting the paint.